if you don't sacrifice for what you want, then what you want becomes the sacrifice. Guys, I just wanted to start off with that quote. Just heard it a little bit ago, and I think it's so good. There's going to be a lot of distractions in your life when you're starting to run this business that can take away from what you're trying to accomplish. And you really, I hate to say it, but you got to lock in. The faster and the harder you work on this at the beginning, the faster you can get everything you want from this business. And this goes for me too, guys. Like making these videos, I'm sitting here right now. It's 11:22 on a Thursday night. It'd be real nice to be at home and be in bed or sitting on TikTok or something and just hanging out. But sometimes we got to do things that are not easy to accomplish things that we want to accomplish. So super important video today. I think this is honestly one of the most important videos that I'm gonna make, and it's seasonality in your business. Seasonality is something that a lot of people are scared of. A lot of people don't get into these kind of businesses because of seasonality. When we first started out, I remember a guy telling me specifically like, oh, that's, my brother told me don't get into businesses where rain affects your business. And that's a quack. That's the biggest crap I've ever heard, because you know what we do when it rains? We work. Sure. Do we work as much? No. Do we make as much money? No. But we still get a lot of things done. There's always something to do in your business, guys. Always. And there's always something for your employees to do if you've got employees. But we'll talk about that. So we're going to talk about seasonality. Specifically in window cleaning, seasonality can be very tough. Where we live in Iowa, it's pretty cold for like 5 months a year, which makes it really hard to have consistent income. We added services to solve this problem. You don't have to add services. You can add different services than I do, but this is what I do that has worked for my business, and I'm not the first person that's done this. My mentors have done it. Other companies in my area do it. Some don't though. Some don't. So it's really up to you guys, but this is what I do. This is what worked for me. And this is my experience. So we do window cleaning. We do power washing too. They go together hand in hand. They work really well. You will lose out on jobs if you don't wash as well as do window cleaning. We also do gutter cleaning, which I think is one of my favorite services because it's so easy usually, and it doesn't take a lot of equipment, and it's a great upsell, and you can make a lot of money per hour doing this, usually more than window cleaning. And then we also do Christmas lights, which is the biggest thing that we'll talk about in this video and how that can help with seasonality. So we're going to start in January, even though that's not what I consider the start of the year for us. January. So the way I've built my business, January is a very important month. We are still pretty busy in January. And for some of you, that probably sounds a little crazy if you're up north. I don't know what it's like in the South. I can't talk to that. Maybe it slows down. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's more consistent there. But here in Iowa, we can get snow and freezing temps and awful weather, wind, everything, you name it. So January, how do we make a lot of money in January? We take down Christmas lights. And the way we do things here at CJ's, where I work, we charge them X% on the front to install the Christmas lights, and we charge them X% to take the Christmas lights down. Some people think it's dumb because they just want to collect all the money up front. They can have it up front, save it. I like it because it's consistent money coming in. So it's a lot harder to spend money that you don't have yet. You do have to chase down people and invoice them. I don't really have much problems with that, a little bit, but you know what? As long as we get paid eventually, I'm not that worried about it. And honestly, guys, the further you get in business, the less you're going to be worried about how fast somebody pays you, as long as they're paying you and there's money coming in and the bills are getting paid. So in January, we take down all our Christmas lights, all of them. And we make a lot of money from that. We might even do a little bit of window cleaning, a little bit of gutter cleaning. We're not doing any power washing, but we stay pretty consistent in January. I think this January we made about 40,000 in January. I'm going to write that down, about 40K. Now, if we weren't taking down Christmas lights, and we weren't doing any of that stuff, and we did $0, well, that would make the rest of the winter really hard, because I take that 40,000 and I cover my expenses, just about cover, not quite, but cover a lot of them for January and February. So I use that money to cover the winter. That money doesn't get me all the way through the winter, but it does cover a lot of the expenses and pay the bills. February is my absolute least favorite month of the year. And, I do a lot of work in February, but we don't make a lot of money. So February, this is where you're going to want to take your vacation. This is where you're going to want to, clean your shop, clean your vehicle, get your new tools figured out. If you've got employees like I do, this is a good time to maybe do something team bonding. Make sure your shop is completely organized, train them on new services. This is a good time where you're going to want to work on your business when you don't have time during the regular part of the year. So in February, we'll do all those things. And then here's another extremely important part of February. Once we get a little bit nicer weather, hopefully in February, this year we got it in the last 2 weeks of February, it started to get nice again. If you get some really warm days in February, go do some jobs, throw out some discounts, maybe do free screen cleaning, maybe offer 15%, whatever it may be, to get people booked in that end of February part. Because what this is going to do for you, it's going to start getting you some money rolling in. It's going to kind of get the rust off of your guys. They're going to get in the swing of doing things again. Or you, if it's you, you're going to use this little bit of time in February to just really hone in your craft. And then what you're also going to do is you're going to sell your services to people for the year, for new clients, and even more importantly, you're going to sell your services to previous clients. You're going to reach out to all your clients and you're going to try to get them on the schedule for March, April, and May. Some people have different ways of doing this. They try to stack up. Maybe they just try to book everything they can in March, which is a great idea if you can do it. I get a lot of pushback. A lot of people want to be booked in May. They're scared of the rain in the spring. You can offer incentives to get people booked in March. This year we're doing, for a couple people, we did free screen cleaning. If they booked our inside outside package, we clean their screens and that will get some money in for us March. So we started making some money towards the end of February, and then you're going to go into March. In my experience, March is kind of a tough month because it's starting to get nice out. You're starting to feel like things are, supposed to be taking off, but they're just not quite taking off yet. What I do is at the beginning of March, my business partner and I will sell as much as we possibly can. We'll even have our own guys. We'll have like 2 or 3 of our guys go to all the businesses, all the property management companies, all the real estate offices, go hand out our information, our print materials, bring stuff to those offices, and try to sell some jobs, make some new relationships, and get ready for the spring. Because this is going to be a time where a lot of those companies and whatnot are looking to get that stuff booked. They're not waiting till May to book that stuff. They're trying to book it now for May so that they're all set up. So you can talk to HOAs, whatever it may be. But if you take end of February and March really seriously on sales, you can really set yourself up. So in March, I'm hoping that you're kind of doing, a good amount of work. Maybe you do more than January, but not by a lot. I'm going to put 50K there because I think it should be better than February, but maybe not by a lot. Unless you're a really great salesperson, maybe you're better than me. And then April, May, and June. In my opinion, this should be the 3 months that you really, really produce a lot of that first half of the year income. So April, May, June, you want to be huge. April should be really good. May should be slammed busy. June should also be super busy. You're going to have graduation parties, people getting ready for holidays. They want to get their houses clean before the nice weather so they can enjoy their outdoor spaces. Whatever you got to do, produce as much income as you possibly can in that 90 days. For us, my goal, April, May, June, I want to do at least 100 grand per month in each of those. And so between those 3, I want to do at least 300K. So I'm looking at right now, by June 1, I'm hoping to be at like 4 to 450,000 for my business. And that's not even half of the income. that I want to do for the year, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But I kind of break up the year into two halves, and you can do this however you want, but I really like to look at January 1 through June 1 as like our first half of the year and what we're doing there. And then I look at June 1 to the end of the year. And the reason I do that is because we have a second seasonal slowdown. Usually that's going to be between July 4th and September 1st. This is where you're going to have to get scrappy. If your area is anywhere like mine, August is going to be your slowest month besides the winter. So you're going to want to do a couple things to prevent that. You're going to want to be selling people a summer package, perhaps. Maybe you get them on a spring, summer, and fall rotation. You're going to want to be hammering commercial jobs because I set up as many commercial jobs as I can. We have a big state fair in August. We do the windows for that. You're going to want to be set up for that. Maybe if you can do a home show, we do a home show in February, and that helps us get set up a little bit for the year. If you can find one in August, that'd be great. But you're going to want to sell in August again. And for us, this is where we start thinking about Christmas lights again. So it's really hard to get people to sign up that early, but if you have Christmas light customers, you want to start signing them up. If you're thinking about starting Christmas lights, I would start thinking about it in August, not November, not even October. And people think it's crazy, but we're installing Christmas lights in September. And you can do that on commercial buildings. You can do it on houses if they'll let you. Most people want at least October. We always sell them. We say, hey guys, we live in Iowa. We never know when it's going to snow. It could snow on Halloween. We really don't want to miss the opportunity to get your Christmas lights up. You can just turn them on whenever you're ready. You don't have to have them on just because they're on the house. So August, you want to sell. Early September, you're probably going to be really trying to sell, doing the same thing that you were doing in February, March, just reselling for that second half of the year because you're going to make most of your money October through mid-December. If you're lucky, you can go that far. October, November are my biggest months of the year. And that's because all of the services I offer are going balls to the wall at that time of the year. October and November, crazy months, especially November. I'm honestly going to say this year, I want to do, let's say July, I want to do at least 80K. August, I want to do at least, we'll say 70K. I'm just throwing out ballpark numbers. I don't really know. If we can do 70K in September, we're sitting pretty good. October, I want to do at least 120K with my group. I'm just telling you these numbers to try to get you, a ballpark of the ebbs and flows. 120K at least in November. And then I want to try to do like 80K if I can in December. So your slowest months on what I have here would be February, January, August, maybe September, with February being the worst for that. But I really like to go on vacation. So that's what I do in February, and I work on my business, not in it. If you don't know the difference, shoot me a message. I will help you with that. So to recap, guys, January, we're taking down Christmas lights. If you don't do Christmas lights, maybe you could do snow removal. Maybe you will just lay your guys off, and maybe you'll just work on your business an extra month. Maybe you'll vacation if you're just a solo guy and you're good with your money and you just saved up. But do know, January, February, slow. August, slow. September, slow. And if you offer washing as your primary service, you might have better summer months than I do. And I'm working on that in my business because I know that if I can crush it in March when things are just going and I can crush it in August, September, I'm going to crush my goals for the year. So you got to get a little scrappy. You got to get out there and sell. And we'll talk about that in more videos. But your business is always going to go like this. It's never, ever going to be consistent. And that's just business. And if it is really, really consistent, then maybe you should be pushing a little harder when things are busy. And then I want to talk about one last thing. Alex Hermosi taught me this. I kind of knew it, but he reminded me. Remember, we talk about how sometimes people don't need to learn things. They need to be reminded. He raises prices on his businesses and recommends that everybody should when it's busy. Guys, really important. Your price in February should not be this same price as November. If you can hardly keep up with the leads that you have, you should be charging more. And that's not because we want to hurt the customer, we're trying to screw anybody over. It's because we were trying to run a legitimate business here. And let me tell you something, guys. If you really want to do right by your clients and you want them to love working with you, then you need to make enough money so that you can create the business that they deserve to work with. So charge more when you're super busy, offer deals when you don't have a lot of work. I always think that the most successful entrepreneurs are going to be the ones that are willing to work on things like that. I know some guys are like, oh, I never discount, I never do that. Well, if it works for you, good for you. But that's not how I did things. And I'm pretty sure we're going to smash 7 figures this year. So if we're lucky enough to do so. But other than that, guys, just know that this stuff is never consistent. Always be prepared and be more prepared than you think you need to be. Other than that, guys, Joshua Weaver, the richest window cleaner here. Just want to help you guys make as much money as possible. Let's do that together. If you guys have any questions, reach out to me, drop it in the group. Let's talk about it. Peace.